Okay. Hi.
Hi.
How are you today?
Fine. How are you?
I'm good. So, what do you remember from when you first moved here to Bloomington?
What do I remember?
Like, what was the land like? I don't know. Just describe it.
Well, I mostly remember coming in on the bypass because that was really the only way I knew to get to Bloomington. And then I lived right there off the bypass at 17th and Fee Lane. And it was, compared to what it looks like now, it was pretty plain. It was just a lot of fields. All of the athletic complex stuff that's there now wasn't there then. So it was just, didn't seem like there was that many trees. Definitely wasn't any grass. That I remember.
What's your favorite part about living here in Bloomington?
I like that you can do a lot of different things outside. I like the trails and the parks and the local restaurants and just the idea that you can walk around here and you feel pretty safe if you're on campus, if you're downtown. I wouldn't hesitate to walk around down there by myself or during the daytime.
How has the weather/rainfall changed since you moved here?
I'm not sure. I think maybe I'm more conscious of the rain now just because I need to mow the yard and take care of things at the house, and rain seems to have an impact on that. I don't remember in college, dealing with rain or caring too much that it was raining, carrying an umbrella or wearing something that I didn't want to get wet. Really none of that seemed to matter at the time. So I remember rain whenever I was a student, other than I guess maybe when you're on campus and there's big puddles. Sometimes you see people get splashed by cars.
The usual.
Yeah.
So, do you think that there's a lot more trees and forests now than there were when you first moved here?
Yeah, I think that Mayor Fernandez started something whenever he was in charge of the city, and I think the mayor after him, whose name escapes me now, I was very conscientious about green space and making sure we had trees and plantings in the streets, the streetscapes. And I know one of them built the little bit of pond and park and walking trail that's there on the north side there between Walnut and College. That didn't used to be there, and so that's a really nice space, and it kind of seems like it's welcome to Bloomington kind of park. So you kind of know what you're getting into when you pull into the city when you're coming from the northern part of the state.
Yeah. Do you think, there's a lot of new developments, like apartment buildings, things like that, new campus buildings. Do you think that has taken away at all from the natural land, or do you think we kind of make up for it by planting new things? Or
it seems like they make up for it by planting new things. I am always surprised when they have new apartments. It just seems like at some point the market would be full and there would be enough of them, and I guess I kind of wish they would spend more time and money fixing up what we have instead of building new. But the new stuff they build always looks nice. I just worry, what it looks like in 20 or 40 years. And it looks like the stuff right now that nobody wants to live in, and it's just sitting there empty.
yeah. Do you think that the kinds of wildlife or the amount of wildlife we have has changed at all?
I know they did the deer kill or whatever in Griffey, so there must be a deer problem there, and I know they had to drain the lake, so there was definitely an issue with whatever was growing in that lake affecting wildlife. campus, it's all about the squirrels and the chipmunks, and those are still around. Seems that the birds are fine too. So I don't know that I've seen any changes on campus, but maybe there are more deer in Bloomington, but that might be just an Indiana or a Midwest thing too. I'm not really sure.
Did you go to the lake very often when you were in college?
I don't think like Lake Monroe or Lake Griffey.
Either.
I went to Lake Monroe growing up as a kid more so than I ever did when I was in college, and then in the recent couple of years I've been to Lake Monroe a lot. But Lake Griffey, I think I've only been there 2 or 3 times, and I don't remember going when I was in college. I was too busy studying.
Mm-hmm. Do you think that Lake Monroe has changed at all?
It seems dirtier, but it could be again. I was a kid whenever I came and was going quite frequently, and it didn't have any sense about me. And now as an adult, you just are a little bit more conscious of what you're putting your body into and what you might expose your children to than when you're a kid yourself.
Have there been any big storms in the last 20 years that you can remember? It seemed really out of place.
I can remember a lot of different tornado warnings. We've been lucky enough that they've not hit, any kind of highly populated area, but there have been people who've been affected by tornadoes or high winds in recent years. And I think the only thing I've ever been affected by is hail, either from it hitting the car or it tearing up the roof. This past winter seemed to be really windy. We had a lot of sticks down in the yard. It seems like snow is maybe less and less each year, but it could just be my imagination too. I don't really follow the statistics on that.
What do you miss most about living here 20 years ago? Is there any particular, something that went on in Bloomington that you miss, or?
Yeah, you used to be able to cruise downtown in your car, park on a flat parking area, flat parking space. I think right now, what is that? It's across from the Trail, some sort of hotel. But there used to be a flat parking lot. You could cruise and park there, and everybody would do their lap through downtown, down Kirkwood. What I miss? I don't know. I think Bloomington's doing a good job of creating new things, so I don't know that I miss anything other than lack of responsibility.
Yeah. Would you say that Bloomington is a pretty stable ecosystem? We've had the same kinds of trees and animals around for these past 20 years, and they don't seem to be going anywhere.
Yeah, I think they say it's warmer now. I don't think we have any new wildlife or anything. There's the bug I was trying to think of the other day was that emerald ash borer. That's why they want to take down those trees. So that's a new bug infestation.
Yeah.
That Bloomington's had to deal with. No, I don't think there's been any big changes.
Are you pretty glad that we live in a city that isn't, covered in a lot of industrialization and skyscrapers, things like that?
Yeah, I don't think I would live in a place like that. I'm not a big city person, so.
Yeah. Would you say that Bloomington is a pretty good mix of, you know, town and country and
I think
woodsy.
Monroe County sure is. I don't know
Yeah.
about Bloomington. If you would get that much diversity in Bloomington. But yeah, I think once you leave Bloomington, you don't have to go very far to see something diverse. Or you have to go all the way to Indianapolis if you want to see some skyscrapers.
Yeah.
If you can call those skyscrapers. I don't know if they're even tall enough to be skyscrapers. But I'd rather go to Evansville than Indianapolis anymore.
Well, thank you for your time.
You're welcome.
You're very good at answering these questions. Okay. Hi.